Good morning to all. In this session, we are going to start with CSIR NET JRF Chemical Science, June 2015, Part C, Series 2, right? This kind of previous year question paper discussion will help you for the preparation towards any competitive exam and entrance examinations as well. So if you're thirsty about research and even for any occupation universities, everything will be possible by preparing such a kind of standard question papers. So all 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20 question papers of CSR, NET JRF Chemical Science are available on the channel called World of Competitive Chemistry. All are available in the detailed solved manner. And now we entered into June 2015. So where Part B session have been completed, and we entered into Part C, where all the questions have been classified into various series. Each series consists of 10 questions. Let us discuss about today's session, series 2, where question number 81 to 90 are going to be discussed. Let us start. Series 2 consists of question number 81 to 90. Question number 81, it is a part of inorganic chemistry. The following statements are given regarding agostic interactions CH with the iridium observed in iridium PPH3 taken thrice Cl. It is a kind of triphenyl phosphine complex of iridium. So in this compound, there is a possibility of CH iridium kind of agostic interactions. Then what could be the reason for such agostic interactions, right? So let us see what is meant by agostic interaction first. Okay, agostic interaction stands for the term organic. It is purely related with organometallic chemistry and interaction of coordinatively unsaturated transition metal like iridium. They can be binded to carbon hydrogen bond, right? Two electrons will participate in empty d orbitals of transition metal through banana bond formation, which is known as three-center two electron bond formation, which is called the agostic interaction. That is purely observed whenever unsaturation is present on the central metal. Right here is the iridium complex, and in this PPH3 you can find phenyl groups. Those phenyl groups having carbon hydrogen bonds, right? Those will participate in this agostic interaction of the bond. Now let us see what is the main reason. Just now we discussed what is agostic interaction. We will discuss about what could be the reason for this one. Agostic interaction must commonly because of carbon hydrogen ligand that undergoes interaction with the metal. Carbon hydrogen ligand which undergo interaction, that is a kind of three-center two electron bond formation. So this agostic interaction, proton NMR peak will be shifted normally aryl alkyl towards hydride ligand. So that is towards -5 to 15. What we can say this is a kind of a field shift, and but not in the range of plus 25 to -60 ppm, right? -5 to -15 ppm kind of transition observed in proton NMR. Initially it is -5 ppm. Whenever agostic interaction is possible, still the value -5 to 15 ppm it will be raised, right? So that is given in option number 3. A, B are the correct answer. A field shift CH proton NMR spectrum. This is explained. A field shift. Why a field shift? Why we can say a field? -5 to -15. So what is the standard in proton NMR? The standard is TMS. That is called a tetramethylsilane, whose value is taken as 0, right? So after the 0, so till 0, most of the compounds will be existed. That's why we took TMS as the internal standard, right? So, but even after that TMS, also some of the compounds are able to give the peaks like -5 to 15. That means delta scale is shifting towards upper side, towards it crossed over the TMS and it is moving towards upper. So that's why we can say this is a kind of a field shift in the proton NMR. This is the correct reason. And second is about increased acidic character of CH. How can we say? Whenever metal is unsaturated, so that hydrogen will be bounded. When hydrogen binding is possible, hydrogen being it is acidic, then only there is a possibility of such a kind of agostic type of interactions. If it is non-acidic, what happens is strongly binded to ligand only, not to the metal. So here, so acidic nature of CH also a part of reason for this agostic interaction enhancement in case of this iridium triphenyl phosphine complex. For question number 81, option number A and B are the correct statements which are provided in option number 3. For question number 81, option 3 is the correct answer. Let us move on to question. This is provided in the textbook called Organometallic Chemistry by B.D. Gupta and Elias. I took most of the information of this 2015 question paper from Kailash Institute of Medical Science. Thank you very much for providing me the information which is required for making this video. Thanks a lot. Now let us enter into the second question called 82. Among the following, manganese NETA5 CpCO taken thrice, osmium NETA5 CP2, then third is ruthenium NETA5 CP2, fourth one is about iron NETA5 CP2. Whenever these four complexes are given, the compound which most shielded and deshielded Cp protons respectively, right? So here, what are shielding protons? What are deshielding protons? Shielding is nothing but if protons are moving towards upfield. Deshielding nothing but if protons are moving towards the downfield. Which compound is having upfield shift? Which compound is having downfield shift? Shielding, deshielding compounds. Only two compounds should be predicted. What is shielding complex? What is deshielding complex? Here, when we see manganese NETA5 CpCO taken thrice, here manganese surrounded by how many carbonyl ligands in this complex? 3 carbonyl ligands are there. What is the nature of carbonyl? It is a beta pi acceptor ligand. Being it is a beta pi acceptor ligand, it generates the deficiency on the central metal and it will cause a shielding effect. It will cause shielding effect, right? So this this carbonyl group, being it is a pi acceptor ligand, it will generate the electron deficiency in the metal. Electron deficiency is nothing but that having tendency to take the electrons from the ligand. From Cp ligand, it is giving electrons. Now, electron negative, it became electron negative. That's why we can say it is a kind of deshielded. It is a kind of deshielded. Now, let us move on to option number 4. Manganese, being it is the D5 system. Osmium, where it is located, iron followed by osmium will be there, osmium followed by ruthenium will be there. All these are of same family, D6 system only, right? So, but when we compare osmium, ruthenium, iron, here all these are in the single group. Top to bottom size will be gradually increases because new shell will be added. So iron is the kind of 3d6, then osmium is a 4d6, ruthenium is 5d6 type of system, right? What happens? Size is gradually increases because new shell is added as we are descending down the group, right? That's the reason why when we see iron will be the smaller one, right? So being it is a smaller one, having strong tendency to bind with the ligands in the stronger way. Whenever ligand binding is a stronger, it obviously causes shielding effect. This is purely because of the smaller size. And whenever shielding is observed, obviously shifting towards will be possible. Being manganese deshielded due to the presence of carbonyl pi acceptor, it will be deshielded. Iron, being it is a smaller one, it will be shielded, right? So that is given in the option number 1. So D, shielded is given first. Shielded what? Iron. So we have, this is a kind of tricky question. So shielded will be iron. Don't get confused. Shielded will be iron because of smaller size. So that D will come first. Later, deshielded nothing but manganese, that will come next. So DA, that is given in the option number 1. For question number 82, option number 1 is the correct answer. Let us move on to question number 83. Total number of vertices in the metal cluster. Ruthenium R6CCO taken 17, osmium 5CCO taken 15, ruthenium 5CCO taken 16. How many vertices are present? For this ruthenium 6, we have 6. Osmium 5, we have 5 vertices. Ruthenium 5, again 5 vertices are there. So here simply vertices exactly is equal to number of metals present in the given cluster, right? The predicted structure of these complexes, this purely depends upon what? Depends upon Wade's rule. Now let us predict the total valency electrons present in that. Apply Wade's rule. What is the Wade's rule? It will be 14n plus 2. For main group elements, it will be n plus 4n plus 2 formula. 4n plus 2, 4n plus 4, 4n plus 6, such a formula will be employed. In case of transition metal, we have to apply 14n plus 2, 14n plus 4, 14n plus 6. Such a kind of interpretation will be there. Now let us predict the total valency electron count for all the complexes given in the problem. First one is, what is the first one? Ruthenium 6CCO taken 17, right? So here you can find ruthenium 6, where it is located, D6 system. So it is a kind of 6 electrons plus 2 electrons, total 6 plus 2, 12 electrons will be there, and total 6 ruthenium atoms are there. We can multiply, and for all 6 ruthenium, the total valence electron count will be given as 48. Each ruthenium consists of 8 electrons, right? So because the D6 system and also more 2 electrons present in s orbital, 2 plus 6, it will be 8, 8 into 2, 48, it will be carbon tetravalent. So it impart 4 electrons. Then cobalt, how many? 17 carbonyl are there. Each carbonyl will contribute 2, right? 17 into 2, 34 it will be. 86 is the total valency electron count for the system. Now, let us apply the Wade's rule. What is the Wade's rule? 14n plus 2 denotes closo, 14n plus 4 denotes nido, 14n plus 6 denotes arachno, right? Here, for this can be purely applicable to transition metal complexes. If we go with main group elements, we have to replace 14 with a 4n plus 2, 4n plus 4, 4n plus 6 formula, right? Closo denotes a caged structure, nido denotes a nested type of structure, arachno denotes netted type of structure, netted one, right? So now let us predict which complexity is the ruthenium taken 6. It is composed of 6. It is composed of 6 metals in the coordination sphere. The formula 14n plus 2. Let us apply 14n plus 2. So 14 into n denotes what? How many metal atoms present in the given complex? How many are there? Ruthenium are 6. N is equal to 6. So that it will become 14 into 6. Right? So 14 into 6 plus 2 is equal to total valency electrons. Now let us write formula in detail first so that it will be clear to us. Right? Is equal to total valency electrons. So this is the formula we have to apply. 14n plus 2 is equal to total valency electron. 14n, n is 6, right? So plus 2. So if you are taking plus 2 towards this side, it will become like this. And so total valency electrons are 80. Total valency electrons are, sorry, here 14 into 6, it will be 84, right? So 84, when we add with more 2 electrons, that now it is exactly equals to this total valency electron count. So total valence, so we have to multiply 14 into 6 so that it will become 84. So 84, in order to equalize with the total valency electron, it should be added with two more integer value. So here 84 plus 2, it will become 86. So here it is a kind of 14n plus 2 system. Being it is 14n plus 2, you can say closer cluster will be there. Now let us discuss about second coordination complex called osmium taken 5, CCO taken 15, right? Osmium, being it is the member of again iron family, we can say 8 valency electrons will be there in each osmium, right? So 8 into 5, 40 electrons will be there for osmium. 5 osmium contribute 40 electrons. Carbon, being it is tetravalent, contribute 4 electrons. Carbonyl groups, how many are there? 15 carbonyl groups are there. 15 into 2, because carbonyl will contribute 2 electrons. 15 into 2, it will be 30. 40 plus 4 plus 30, it will become 74. Now it can be applied as 14 into n plus 2 formula or n plus 4 formula or n plus 6 formula we have to predict. Now 14 into how many metal atoms are there? N denotes for this osmium complex, n is 5 because osmium atoms are 5, right? So now we have to apply 14 into 5. 14 into 5, how much? 70. In order to satisfy this total valency 74, how much extra amount we have to add? That is 4. So 70 plus 4, that is nothing but 14n plus 4 formula can be employed. If 14n plus 4 formula applied, that is called a nido. And let us move on to third coordination complex, that is ruthenium 5 CCO taken 16. Again, it is a kind of ruthenium, need not to go with the electron count 5. So again, 8 electrons, 8 into 5, 40. And the carbon, being it is tetravalent 4. So here carbonyl contributing 16 into 2, it will be 32. 40 plus 4 plus 32, it will become 76. How many metal atoms are there? Well, let us apply the formula 14 into n plus 2 plus 4 plus 6. Which formula is suitable? We have to predict. 14 into n. What is the n value? How many ruthenium atoms we have here? 5 ruthenium atoms are there. 14 into 5, it will become 70. So in order to satisfy 76, more how much amount we have to add? 6. So 14n plus 6, this denotes what? The structure will be arachno, right? So compound 1 ruthenium 6 complex will be closo. osmium 5 will be nido, and ruthenium 5 complex will be arachno. That is provided in option number 2. For question number 83, option number 2 is the correct answer. Let us move on to question number 84. Among the complexes, K4CrCN6 and potassium FeCN taken 6, potassium COCN taken 6, potassium MnCN taken 6. These 4 complexes of chromium, iron, cobalt, and manganese have been given, where the Jahn-Teller distortion is expected. Right? The important condition for Jahn-Teller distortion is whenever any transition metal complex was taken, in that complex, if T2G or EG orbitals are asymmetrically filled, means more than half filled or less than half filled. That system, that means asymmetry should be there. That should not be exactly T2G3 EG2 or T2G6 EG4 or T2G0 EG 0. So these systems are called symmetric. Other than these, all are said to be asymmetric only. In that case, the molecule is selected to be obeyed Jahn-Teller distortion. But T2G orbital asymmetry will give higher rate of distortion when compared to EG asymmetric orbitals. Right? So from all these ways, Jahn-Teller distortion is observed. Let us see compound 1, where chromium is there, K4 CN6. Here you can observe these ligands are CN. Cyano groups are there, being these are strong field ligands in accordance with the spectroscopic series. You can give these are the kind of low spin complex and chromium associated with +2 oxidation state. And here we have D4 system. D4 system is there, being it is chromium +2 oxidation state, because if 4CN6 here compensated oxidation state for chromium will be +2, so that 2 electrons will be discarded and D4 system will be there. When we are taking D4, so being it is a low spin, all 4 electrons resided in T2G orbital. All 4 electrons are present in T2G orbital. When all 4 electrons present in T2G, you can say it is unsymmetrical, highly unsymmetrical, because T2G unsymmetrical is highly distorted in accordance with Jahn-Teller distortion. So chromium complex is highly distorted because of T2G distorted structure. And one more compound, K4MnCN6. Here also manganese associated with +2 oxidation state. Whenever +2 is there, 2 s electrons will be discarded, so that manganese D5 system will be there. All 5 electrons, being it is again cyano, strong field, low spin complex, all 5 electrons will be accompanied in a T2G triply degenerated set of orbitals. Triply degenerated set of orbitals will be associated with all 5 electrons. So here 3 orbitals will be there, 5 electrons are there. What will be the symmetry? Symmetric or asymmetric? If 6 electrons, that will be completely filled. 5 electrons, this is 1 electron short. So that you can say it is a kind of asymmetric. Here also you can find Jahn-Teller distortion in the stronger way. So here chromium as well as this manganese complex is able to exhibit the Jahn-Teller distortion. For question number 84, option number 3 is the correct answer. Let us move on to question number 85. The reductive elimination of aryl or coupled product of A is facile when the aryl group will be freely removed. So that purely depends upon the nature of R group. Being R is a smaller, better leaving group, where we can find R is smaller, methyl, benzyl, benzoyl, and this is said to be CF3CH2, nothing but a trifluoroethane. Right? So among all the shortest, smallest one is methyl, so that R will be methyl, that will be reduced, that will be participated in the reductive elimination, being it is a beta departing agent. Right? So that is purely based on the size of ligand what is departing. For question number 85, option number 1 is the correct answer. Let us move on to question number 86. The total number of metal ions and the number of coordinated imidazole. What is imidazole? 1,3 nitrogens in the 5-membered heterocyclic is called imidazole, and this is a major part of histidine nucleus and the active site of oxyhemocyanin respectively. Right? What they're asking for, total number of metals, how many metals are there in oxyhemocyanin. Oxyhemocyanin is the coloring or oxygen transporting pigment which is available in the marine invertebrates, which is composed of 2 copper metals. So the 2 copper metals in the +2 oxidation state is the right one, and more one we have to predict, that is how many imidazole units are present in that. For that we have to see the chemical structure of oxyhemocyanin. This is a chemical structure. Let us zoom it. Right. Here is the copper, where how many? Here's 3 imidazole and here 3 imidazole nucleus. Total 6 imidazole nucleus are present in the molecule. So oxyhemocyanin, it is associated to copper in the +2 oxidation state, and how many imidazole? 6 imidazole units. Two questions are asked by this question, so that 2 copper and 6 imidazole units are present. For question number 86, option number 1 is the correct answer. Let us move on to question number 87. It is a kind of match the following. Match the action of hydrogen peroxide aqueous medium given column A with the oxidation reduction listed in the column number B. Here, it purely depends upon the nature of hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide having diol nature, it is working like a oxidant as well as reductant both. That's the reason why wide applications are employed for this hydrogen peroxide. So it is a major reagent in the organic chemistry and even in organic chemistry as well, right? So this hydrogen peroxide can be employed as oxidation of acid, oxidation of base, reduction of acid, reduction of base. All these properties are available for this hydrogen peroxide. But we have to map where it is working like a oxidant with acid, where it is working like a base with oxidation process, reduction, acid, reduction of base. So we have to map all these. Oxidation of acid. Let us go with one by one. When iron Cn taken 6 - 3 was taken, what is the iron electronic oxidation state here? Iron exists in +3 oxidation state. Then after the reaction, it turned into FeCN6 -4, right? What is the difference? Here, each cyano contribute -1 charge. Here -4 is there. Total difference will be 2. That means iron turned into +3 turned into +2 oxidation state. What is the nature? +3 to +2 is nothing but there is a decreasing the oxidation state. Always decreasing the oxidation state is said to be reduction process. You can say decreasing the oxidation state. +3, 3 to 2, there is a descending. That is denoted with reduction process, right? So for what we can say, ferric to ferrous is called a reduction. Ferric to ferrous is called a reduction. So this is a potassium ferrocyanide, potassium ferricyanide, potassium ferrocyanide formation is possible. That is attributed with reduction process. Now let us move on to second option. FeCN6 -4 turned into -3. This is a vice versa reaction. Reverse of this reaction, what we can say? Simply you can say oxidation, because iron +2 turned into +3, right? Iron +2, lower state, +3, higher state. Lower to higher always said to be oxidation process. So that is purely because of loss of electrons, so that it is a kind of oxidation. Here, what we can say, ferrocyanide to ferricyanide transformation is said to be a oxidation process, right? So from this also you can clearly assume oxidation is so based on this, let us go with 1A. Is it feasible or not? Let us check. Oxidation of acid. Here what is the state? -3, -4. Here iron +3 turned into +2. +3 to +2 reduction, +3 to +2 reduction, right? That is given in the option number 4, reduction in the base. So base catalyzed reaction. So 4 can be mapped with 1, reduction in a base catalyzed reaction. It is 4 with A is given only in the option number 2 and 3. Let us move on to second one, oxidation in base. Where oxidation in base is possible? Mn +2 turned into Mn +4. +2 to +4, what you can say? Increasing the oxidation state and catalyzed by what? Base. So here 2 with D is the right option. 2 with D is provided in option number 2 and 3. There is an ambiguity between second and third options again. Let us move on to third option, reduction in the acid. Where reduction in the acid is possible? Third one, reduction in the acid. Reduction means what we have to get? Oxidation state will be lowered. Here you can observe that manganese O taken 4, where manganese is in +8 oxidation state. +8 to +2. What happened? +8 to +2, oxidation state is lowered. Oxidation state lowered, that clearly indicates what? Reduction under acidic conditions. So 3 with C is the correct one. 3 with C only available in option number 2. So by this you can deduce option number 2 is the correct answer. Hydrogen peroxide will work like a oxidant as well as reductant. right? Both the properties are there. It used to oxidize, it used to reduce the chemical reaction, right? So all are exactly mapped in the option number 2. For question number 87, option number 2 is the correct answer. Let us move on to question number 88. Reduced form of metal ion M in the complex NMR active. On oxidation, complex EPR signal G parallel is equal to 2.2, G perpendicular is equal to 2.0. This is purely based on Jahn-Teller distortion. Mass bar spectroscopy cannot characteristic metal complex. What will be the metal? So this is clearly explained. NMR active. When it will become NMR active? When angular momentum value becomes non-zero. That is given for copper. For copper, what is the angular momentum value? Angular momentum value will be 3/2, right? So here it will become NMR active. This satisfied by copper. Now let us move on to EPR. When will there is a change in gyromagnetic ratio, parallel and perpendicular? When it will be? When molecule participate or compound participate in Jahn-Teller distortion. Being it is the kind of asymmetric EG orbital. It is a kind of asymmetric EG orbital, then you can assign there is a possibility of Jahn-Teller distortion, so that G parallel, G perpendicular both are different. Again, it is satisfied by option number 3, and it will become mass bar inactive. This is also satisfied by option number 3. So all got, this is a kind of analytical spectroscopic technique for transition metal complexes. All got satisfied by copper. That's why for question number 88, option number 3 is the correct answer. Let us move on to question number 89. Again, it is a part of organometallic chemistry, right? The least probable product from A on reductive elimination. When the reductive elimination is facile, and what will be the condition and what will be the product? So when reductive elimination is possible, reductive elimination in the sense from the metal, the group is discarded so that hydrogen, so alpha beta hydrogens are active, then it is facile to move towards this beta hydrogen elimination kind of reaction, and ultimately it used to give the alkene as the final product. Alkene is provided only in the option number 3. That is given by option number 3. Here, being it is beta hydrogen kind of reaction, it will participate in beta hydrogen elimination. Hydrogen will be shifted towards metal, and there is a possibility of one kind of intermediate with olefinic bond, and subsequently methyl group will be shifted to alkyl, and there is a reductive elimination. We will get the product called alkene. That is given by option number 3. For question number 89, option number 3 is the correct answer. Let us move on to last question of the series. Water plays different roles in the following reactions. All reactions we are using water, but here another reagent got varied. Based on this variation, water property also varies. Then what kind of a role water is playing in all these chemical reactions we have to depict. For that purpose, first let us see water added with calcium. Initially calcium 0, now turned into +2. 0 to +2, what we can say? 0 to +2 rise in the oxidation state. You can say it is a kind of oxidation. Now, what is the role of water here? Oxidant. It is facilitating oxidation process, so that you can say it is a kind of oxidant, right? So in this first reaction, water will be the oxidant. Let us move on to second one. Water can be treated with chlorine. Then this chlorine turned into chlorine H2O taken N-. It got complexed with a chlorine complex. It got complexed with the chlorine. So what it is doing now? Chlorine binded to water, being it is a deficient system, it is binded with water. It is a kind of protonation. It is a kind of protonation. Already we know water is an ambidentate, where H+ and OH- both can be released by water. So that here it is accepting H+, because here chlorine always carried by negative charge, and whose neutrality is achieved by binding with H+, so that here the function of water will be, so water will be acidic. So that is in accordance with Bronsted. You can explain with Lewis also. Here electron rich center is there, and here water is accepting electrons from chlorine. Water is accepting electrons from chlorine, so that it will become acidic. And next is about water treated with magnesium. Magnesium hexaquo complex is formed. In this magnesium hexaquo complex, magnesium is attributed with +2 charge, right? When +2 charge is there, deficiency is there, so that it used to give the electrons to the magnesium by coordination covalent bond. So that in this case, it is working like an electron donor, electron pair donor, where basic nature, Lewis basic nature is attributed. And the last one, water binded with chlorine. What is the nature of fluorine molecule? It is a zero oxidation F2 molecule. Now it can be binded with water so that HF and oxygen will be liberated. Wherever oxygen liberated, oxygen added called oxidation, oxygen liberation is called reduction, right? So that water is working like a reductant. Simply you can say hydrogen release is called what we can say, hydrogen addition is called reduction, hydrogen release is called oxidation, oxygen addition is called oxidation, oxygen release is called the reduction process. Here the reduction carried so that it working like a reductant. In the first reaction with the calcium, it is working like a oxidant, water with chlorine acid, water with magnesium base, water with fluorine, it is a reductant. So many roles played by this water. So all are possible with these different kind of reagents. All are satisfied in the option number 1. For question number 90, option number 1 is the correct answer. By this, our series number 2 of CSIR NET JRF Chemical Science, June 2015 have been completed. Thank you very much for your patience listening. Thank you one and all.